It's not easy to be a top-selling family sedan for nearly 30 years, and yet Honda has certainly made it seem like it is, garnering decades worth of praise from critics and loyal customers alike. Of course, if it were easy, more brands would manage to achieve that just right recipe that Honda has mastered over the years and continues to perfect with the 2015 Honda Accord. So, let's go ahead and check out this 2015 Honda Accord Coupe. Now, the Accord Coupe does differ in styling from the sedan form quite a bit, and it's not as sedate looking as the sedan form. And you can really tell this is a coupe on the front end by the headlight design and then the grille as well. And then in the rear too, of course. And then the taillight designs are quite a bit different in the rear too. But on the sedan, you can actually get LED taillights, which is not available on the coupe form. But both cars can get LED daytime running lights, which give the vehicle a much more premium presence. Of course, those LEDs are only available on higher end trim models. But overall, I think the look of the Accord Coupe is a very handsome looking vehicle and quite sporty looking too. Pretty aggressive, but not being overdone. Now essentially the trim we have here for the Accord Coupe is the EXL trim, and it is one of the higher end trims for the Accord Coupe, but there is a trim up above the EXL. It's called the EXL with navigation, but this one does have leather and heated seats. It just doesn't have a navigation system or LED daytime running lights, but you do have Honda's lane watch system, which I will show you in just a second. But here's the key fob design for the vehicle. Love the key fob design, very high quality design here. You have your unlock, your lock to release your trunk, and then your panic button right here. But I love this key fob design. Now it is a white exterior with smart key access on the driver's door and the passenger door. Chrome door handles too. With a two-toned beige and black leather interior, which is unique for the Accord Coupe. This two-tone leather isn't available on the sedan version. You have your power driver's seat, power recline, and your power lumbar, of course. Now stepping on into the interior of the Accord Coupe, as you can see, it's a very high quality design here. And one more styling cue that does differ from the sedan version of the Accord is this black trim that goes throughout the whole entire cabin. You won't find that on the sedan, only on the coupe versions. But overall, I love the design of the Accord Coupe, and this goes along with the sedan too. Now the step-in height is pretty low. I noticed that it is slightly lower than the Accord sedan. So in other words, it's not as, I would say, family friendly as the sedan version, but overall it's still pretty family friendly here. Now you do have push button ignition. Just put your foot on the brake and hit the button start. And what you're hearing is that 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine. Coming to your transmission, you have a CVT automatic, which only comes with the 4-cylinder powertrain. If you get the V6 powertrain, you will go to a more traditional 6-speed automatic. But a 6-speed manual is available on the Accord Coupe. And you do have a sport mode right here, and you will manually shift it via the paddle shifters. Putting the vehicle into reverse, of course, displays your rear view camera with guidance lines. You can also change the views of the rear view camera. You have a top-down view, and then your normal view, and then a wide-angled view. Pretty neat. And a rear view camera is standard on every Accord. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on the lights and the fogs, hazards too. All windows are fully automatic in the Accord Coupe. And let's go ahead and pop the hood and check out the engine bay. Heated exterior mirrors with LED turn signals integrated onto the mirrors. Halogen projector beam headlights. LED daytime running lights are available. Halogen fogs too. Love the front end of the Accord Coupe. Looks great in my opinion. All 2015 Accords are essentially front-wheel drive, and most are fitted with this 2.4-liter inline 4-cylinder engine. This engine is rated at 185 horsepower and 181 pound-feet of torque. Now, if you get the sport trim level on the sedan version of the Accord, the less restrictive dual exhaust boosts out to 189 horsepower and 182 pound-feet of torque. The standard transmission for all 4-cylinder Accords except the EXL trims is a 6-speed manual. Optional for those and standard on the 4-cylinder EXL trims is a CVT, which takes place of the conventional automatic. Now, expect EPA estimates for this Accord Coupe to be 26 in the city and 35 on the highway. Now, expect EPA estimates for this powertrain to be 26 in the city and 35 on the highway. And that is also the same for the sedan version as well. Now, if you step up to the very potent 3.5-liter V6, surprisingly, fuel economy numbers don't drop that much, and you'll still be able to get at least 30 mpg on the highway. Overall, it's a very refined powertrain. You also do have VTEC. Now, trims of the Accord Coupe start at the LXS model, which starts at $23,775. Now, that comes pretty well equipped with standard Bluetooth and Bluetooth streaming audio and a rear view camera. Stepping up to the EX model, that adds Honda's lane watch system, which starts at $25,450. Then you have the EXL trim, which starts at $28,495. And then you have the EXL V6, which starts at $30,775. Now, competitors of the Accord Coupe have been dwindling down over the years. Essentially, there's no main competitors against the Accord Coupe anymore. Back in the 2000s, you actually used to have the Toyota Camry Solara, which used to be a main direct competitor of the Accord Coupe. And then the Nissan Altima Coupe was also a direct competitor. However, that is dying for this model year, so that is no longer in production. So really, the Accord Coupe is now in a class of its own, and it's based off of a mid-size sedan, but it's in a coupe form, and there's no other competitors in this class that have coupes that are based off of a family sedan. Now, coming to the rear, you have some pretty nice sculpted lines which give the Accord Coupe a much wider presence, especially from the rear. And then coming back here, you have your rear reflectors, rear window defroster of course, and a third brake light. Overall, I love the rear end of the Accord Coupe in this generation Accord better than the last one. And then with the V6 powertrain, you get dual exhaust tips. Now, total vehicle price for this particular one is $29,285. And like I said, EPA estimates you're expecting 26 in the city and 35 on the highway. Power windows, power door locks, and power mirrors. Nice stitched and padded armrest. Chrome door handles too. And let's go ahead and rev it up and see how she sounds. Very nice. Not bad sounding at all. I would love to have a V6 just to show you guys. Now, as far as build quality and materials go inside of the Accord Coupe here, and the Accord sedan. Build quality and materials are superb for the class. Very high quality designed interior. You have nice soft touch materials up here, and everything fits well inside of this car. The build quality is superb. I don't find that many panel gaps, especially in the last generation Accord. That was a pretty cheap feeling interior, but this generation Accord, when they rolled this out in 2013, it totally changed, and it just feels much more solid, much more premium. And this portion right here is nice and soft to the touch. I just love the build quality and the materials inside of the Accord here. Coming to your center stack controls here, you have dual zone automatic climate control, which is standard on every Accord. Your temperatures, your fan speeds, and your different zones. Pretty easy to operate once you get used to it. Your rear window defroster and your heated exterior mirrors, and then your front window defroster too. Coming down here, you have a little storage cubby, a power outlet, a USB port, and an auxiliary input. Everything is also pretty ergonomically correct too, and it's within the driver's reach and the passenger's reach too. You also do have heated seats, which comes on the EXL trim when you get the leather seats. And coming down here, you have your cup holders, like the chrome surrounding it, for a much more premium look. Coming to your center console, it is pretty small, but on the sedan form of the Accord, you do get a larger center console. You do have a 12-volt power outlet down there, however. Nice and stitched and padded. Coming up here, you have your auto-dimming rearview mirror, your sunroof, with your sunroof controls, your garage home link, your sunglass container. Very nice. Now coming to the steering wheel design here, I'm sort of a fan of the steering wheel design. However, to me it just looks a little bit too black. I would love to see a little more contrast on the steering wheel. I think they should add this part, this metal piece right here, and put it surrounding the buttons right here. I think that would give it a much more premium presence, but that's just my opinion. But overall, it's a very functional steering wheel. The steering wheel controls are very well placed and very ergonomically correct. You have your steering wheel mounted audio controls right here, and then this is going to control your whole infotainment system, which I will get to in just a second. Coming to the steering wheel design here, for my taste, I think it just looks a little too black. I would love to see a little more contrast. I would love to see this part put here surrounding the buttons, but that's just my opinion. It's just a little too black. But however, it's a very functional steering wheel. Everything works well. Everything is very ergonomically correct. You do have your steering wheel mounted audio controls right here, and this controls your infotainment system, which I'll get to in just a second. Then of course right here you have your Bluetooth phone controls and your voice recognition, and then your cruise control buttons right here. You also do have a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. Very nice range of adjustment. Coming to the gauges, I love the gauges in the Accord Coupe. I love the red surrounding them, surrounding the speedometer and the tachometer. Gives it a much more sporting flair in this car. And then to control your center screen right there, basically it's going to give you your vehicle information, such as your average MPG, your trip odometer, your oil life percentage, and then your fuel range, all the basic stuff, and then your exterior temperature readout. However, the font of the gauges are very well labeled, very clear and easy to read. However, don't expect to find a TFT display on this car, which is becoming much more common in cars today. Coming over here, you have your Econ mode for saving fuel, and it displays right up there if you turn it off or on. And then right here you have your lane departure warning, and then your traction control off button. Now, as far as driving dynamics go of the Accord, it manages to strike a near perfect balance between a supple ride and engaging handling. Although the Accord has never been a truly sporty car, this latest version feels particularly well balanced around turns. The Accord's electric assist power steering might feel pretty light the first time you turn the wheel, but it's very precise and has a crisp response that adds to the driving enjoyment. One potential downside is that the Accord's ride quality is on the firmer side. If you're accustomed to a softer ride, a Fusion, a Camry, or Passat, or Malibu might suit you better in this regard. Coming to the seats, I love the seat designs. I love the two-tone leather here. Very nice contrast inside of this cabin here. And they're very well supportive, great for long road trips, and they're very comfortable too. I love these seats. Very, very comfortable. And thigh support is also pretty good. Now coming to the main head unit here, basically you have two screens, and you will see this on many of Honda's and Acura's on their latest products. And it works pretty well, but basically this screen right here is for all of your different media sources, and then this screen right here is for other various amount of things. This is where your navigation will actually appear, and then it shows various amount of things such as what radio station you're on, and then what song is playing on that radio station, and then fuel economy information as well, history of your trip, things of that nature, various amount of information. But basically this screen is all for your different media sources. Now coming to your different media sources, you have your AM, FM, XM satellite radio, optical disc drive, CD player, and then you also do have your USB port, iPod integration, Bluetooth streaming audio, your Pandora internet radio, and then your AHA, and then your auxiliary input. And for the AHA internet radio and Pandora internet radio, you have to have your smartphone connected through your data connection, of course. Now even though this system does work pretty well for the most part, this system right here, this screen right here is a touchscreen, but this is not, however, and this screen right here is controlled by this knob right here. But however, this system can be finicky to use at times, but for the most part it works pretty well. It's definitely much better than my Ford Touch on the Ford Fusion. But basically you have your phone located right here, your information, and then this gives you information such as your history of your trip, and then you can press back, and then you could delete the history, you could do a clock and wallpaper change, and then current drive, and then gives you your MPG, fuel economy numbers. And then you have your audio right here. And like I said, this is not where you will change your different audio sources. That is right here on this screen. But it's just going to show you what radio station you're on, and then what song is playing on that radio station. Then you have your bass, treble, and then your fader and your balance, of course. All that basic sound settings. Coming to other settings, you have your vehicle settings. And then you could do a meter setup, your keyless access setup, lighting setup, door setup, maintenance info, various amount of things. You can also change your camera settings, like your lane watch system, like if you want to show with turn signal, reference lines, change the display of it, like the brightness or the contrast of it. Pretty nice. And then coming to your vehicle settings, you have your driver assist system setup, TPMS calibration, you also do have forward collision warning on this car. Alrighty. Now, if you've seen any of my reviews on Honda's latest products, you will know that I'm a huge fan of Honda's lane watch system. And basically, when you signal to the right, basically the image of the camera on the mirror is going to display right here. And basically, it's a blind spot camera, but it works pretty well. And I love this unique feature. And there's only one gripe I have to the system, is that they need to put it on the left side. That is my only gripe. However, I still love this system, and it definitely helps. And with in a Core coupe with massive blind spots, you'll definitely need the Honda's lane watch system. It's not as bad as in the sedan, but visibility in this car can be a little bit better since it's a coupe, but in the sedan it's much better. Now, I think this feature is extremely useful, especially in the Core Coupe, which can have pretty massive blind spots back there compared to the sedan, which has a lot of glass area all around. But that is also offered, Honda's lane watch system is also offered on the sedan form of the Accord, but I love this feature so much. Alright, and let's go ahead and shut it down. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of the car. Let's go ahead and see how the rear seat passenger space is, and if it's still family friendly enough. And then let's also check out the trunk as well. Now, one gripe I do have is that there's actually no split folding second row seat, so it doesn't fold down 60-40 split like how a lot of cars do nowadays. However, the seats do still fold down, but just in one whole piece. Basically, just pull this lever right here, and then you just pull it down, and it's easy as that. But overall, trunk capacity is okay. Now, to get into the rear seat of the Accord Coupe, it is pretty easy. Just pull this up and then slide the seat forward. And then just hop right in. Easy as that. So there is a little bit of compromise when you get the coupe version. It's not as easy as the sedan version as far as the ease of ingress goes, but that's to be expected when you buy a coupe. But back here, the seats are decently comfortable. You do have dual mat pockets back here, surprisingly, and then you also do have a little storage cubby right here and a little storage cubby right there too. So overall, it's not that bad of an experience, and the headrests back here are still adjustable. Pretty nice. Alright. Full manual passenger seat. Your glove box compartment, nice and damped. Alright. So with a roomy and high quality interior, refined and efficient powertrains, quick acceleration, responsive handling, generous amount of standard and available features, and an available coupe body style, the 2015 Honda Accord earns top honors in the midsize sedan class with its well-rounded mix of excellent packaging, superb fuel economy, and rewarding performance. So remember that this is Cameron Birch from Cameron's Car Reviews.